What's up, guys? We're here at Motion Raceworks, and today we're going to be installing square body S10 drag wings. Brand new product for us, so we're going to give you an install video on it and show you all the proper ways to put all your pieces together and check to make sure you have all the right parts and all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get started. Once you open up your crate and get everything unboxed, check to make sure you have all your parts. You should have a wing deck, you should have your wicker bill adjuster, your wicker bill, both spill plates left and right, and then you should have 4 wing struts. There's a left and a right to these, so you'll have two lefts, 2 rights. And then you should have 1 package of hardware that has all your rivets, nuts, bolts. And then you want to go ahead and round up any tools that you need. So for this project, you're going to need a drill. You're going to need a number 11 drill bit is actually correct, but you can get away with a 3/16, which will be what most people will have in their drill bit sets. You'll need a 1/8 and a 3/32 Allen wrench. You'll need an 11/32 and a 3/8 socket or wrench, and then a rivet gun and a permanent marker, and you'll probably want some masking tape so you can just tape off any painted areas that you don't want to accidentally scratch during the installation. We're going to start by installing the wing struts first. If you look, there's actually a left and a right. So they're the exact same part, just bent opposite. And for this install, we're gonna put the rivets towards the inside of the truck. So we're gonna essentially put the outer wing strut flush with the tailgate to bed body line there. And then we're gonna drill our rivet holes on the inside. Some people might prefer putting the rivets to the outside. It really doesn't make any difference on this particular wing since these parts are just mirrors of each other. So like I said, we're gonna put that one there. A couple tips on how to go ahead and do this. The bottom of the wing strut will line up pretty close to the body line on a square body S10. But what you're really going to want to look at is you're going to want to look down this top surface and see where the actual deck will land. So in order to do that a little more easily, I'll use the spill plate to actually look down the edge. So I'll kind of just set it on there, and that'll give you an idea of where you want to place the strut vertically. I would recommend having your wing deck kind of tuck right up to the back edge of the bottom side of this body line. It'll make a little more sense once we get going here. I'll go ahead and get this one marked out and we'll rivet it in place and we'll show you what's going on after that. So I've got some marks placed for the left-hand strut here, and we're gonna go ahead and place the other outside strut. And once we have both the outside struts placed, then we can come up with a measurement to equally space the 2 inner struts. So we'll go ahead and get the other side marked, and then we'll move on to the inners. Another thing that I should mention here with these S10s, so you've actually got 2 separate pieces here, like the tailgate and the bed rail. And the wing is going to mate up to both of them. So depending on the condition of like your body panel tailgate alignment, you may want to adjust your hinges or bend them or do something to get this alignment as good as you can before you even get started. So like in this case, I'll show you here, like this one it's missing the bottom hinge right now. So like sitting down, if you try and align your wing with that, it's going to hit the tailgate, or it's going to hit the bed rail when it's flush to the tailgate. So keep this in mind so you can see, like if we pull up, maybe. So like there, we're back in alignment. So for now, we're gonna install it this way and fix the hinge later in this case. But just make sure before you get started, get that alignment as close as you can, and that way you're gonna get the best fit. One more tip that I'm gonna explain here as far as installing your wing struts. So you can actually, the outer wing struts, you can move in or out where you like them. In this case, we're gonna go all the way flush to this edge of the tailgate. There's probably only one reason you wouldn't wanna do that, and like I'll show you, if you open up the tailgate, we're gonna be drilling and having rivets. So if your tailgate is down, you will see the rivets exposed on the backside. If you don't like that, you can actually just shift the wing strut in, and that will put the rivets into like the hollow dead space inside the tailgate. That's really just a personal preference. On this particular one, we don't care, so we're gonna put the wing strut all the way out. Just gives you a little more support, like for the spill plate, but we can have them in and you won't have any issue that way either, so really just up to you. Real nice, Jim. So I went ahead and drilled just 2 of the holes for each of the outside wing struts, and I'll rivet those in place, and I'll actually drill the second 2 holes once it's on there. Just makes it a little easier to get your holes all in the same pattern. So go ahead and rivet this guy on. Get our second rivet in, and then just kind of eyeball just to make sure it's kind of square where you want it. And go ahead and put your next rivet in, and we'll do the same on the opposite side. Perfect. So now we'll go ahead and drill the other 2 holes for those, and then after that, we'll measure and get the spacing correct for our inner 2 wing struts. All right. I gotta find a tape measure. So now that our outer 2 wing struts are riveted in place, we're gonna measure to place the inner 2 wing struts. I'll show you the easiest way to do this is actually just hook the tape measure right on there, because this is in line with the center line of these holes. So if we measure to the same point on the opposite side, in this case, we are about 54.5 inches. We'll divide that number by 3, and that'll be the spacing from each wing strut that we'll want the inner wing struts. So I'll show you how to do that here in just a minute. We'll mark it probably right here on the tailgate, and that'll give us a location to line up our inners. Our measurement divided up would be roughly 18 3/16. So we'll mark that on the truck, coming from each side with the tape measure hooked in the same spot. And then, just to double check that, we'll measure in between our lines, and you should get roughly the same measurement. Another 18 3/16. So now that we're marked out on the tailgate for our inner struts, I'll show you how to place those. All you basically want to do, you're going to want to use the same process as the outers, but you'll want to line this edge up with your mark, because that will center your holes evenly across the truck. So basically just look down the edge, line this line up with our mark back here, and then I want to do the same thing we did before with your height, and just kind of use this sheet metal as a guide to where it's going to land there. So roughly about there. Hold that firmly in place and put our marks in there. And we'll go ahead and drill our holes. One other thing that I should mention is just, in this case, we're just making sure we use both the same wing struts on the right and both the same on the left. So depending on which way you put those on your truck, just put them the same on the inner for symmetry. Now that we've attached all 4 wing struts, we're going to take the wing deck set on there, and we're going to mark a couple holes. And the easiest way to kind of start that process is mark a few holes, take the wing deck back off, drill those, and that way you can bolt at least a couple on, and then I like to go back and just drill the rest from underneath while the wing deck's actually on the truck. That way, if you don't drill your holes perfect or whatever, it kind of eliminates the process of potentially mis-drilling a hole. That way you're just drilling right through the bracket itself. So we'll grab the wing deck and throw it on here. So the S10 wing, it's actually pretty simple to line up. If you see here, it actually has a notch. Like essentially it's a relief cut for the bed side. That way you can have it fit tight to the tailgate, but still have some clearance to the bed. That way, since it's only attached to the tailgate, it doesn't rub or anything on there. So basically, you just line that little notch right up to the edge of your tailgate, and then that will line the other one up as well, and just slide it up until it's just, some people leave a little gap here, other people want them flush tight. It's just kind of personal preference. This one I think we're just gonna have it basically just resting on the edge of the tailgate, so keep things nice and tight. So once that's all in place, we'll get our permanent marker, and I'm gonna go ahead and mark these 2 outside or inside rear holes. So go ahead and mark that guy, and then mark this one. We'll pull this back off and get those holes drilled. One down. So yeah, it's easiest if you do it on like a piece of wood, or in this case a pallet, but just something that's not going to scratch your wing all up as you're setting it down and sliding around. So now we should be able to take 2 of our number 10 bolts and nuts, and that will just get bolted and nutted. So nuts on from the bottom, and then there'll be 12 of these, there'll be 12 of these total. We'll have 3 in each wing strut, and then the other number 10 bolts will go to the spill plates on the edges, 3 on each side there. So we'll go ahead and we'll fasten these down, and that'll hold the wing in the position that we want. And I'm going to drill the rest of the holes right on the truck. You can tighten your number 10 bolts with your 1/8 Allen and your 3/8 socket. All right, we'll drill the rest of our holes and get this baby bolted on. Real nice. Okay, one more row. Ah! My hand! I have a hole in my hand. Yeah, that would not be good. Sweet.
Right.
Oh. Our wing deck's all attached now, so at this point, we'll go ahead and we'll rivet the wicker bill adjuster on the back and get the wicker bill bolted on. And then at the end, we'll put the spill plates in. So let's go ahead and get the wicker bill riveted. Get our gun switched over from 3/16 to 1/8. So this angle bent piece is called your wicker bill adjuster. And we're just gonna, it actually rivets to the main wing deck. So your rivets will be installed from the top down, and then they just pass through the little 1/8" holes in the adjuster. I'm gonna go ahead and start in the center and work my way out from each side and just rivet every hole. Once you're completely riveted in place, then you can use your number 8 bolts and nuts and bolt and nut the actual wicker bill to the wicker bill adjuster. So again, we'll start in the middle and work our way out. And then you'll also have to select, this is actually adjustable, a 1/2 inch up and down. So you can go from 0 wicker all the way up to a 1/2 inch. So you'll have to, I guess, select that kind of on your own, trial and error, just based on your surface and what you think your vehicle needs. So for these, we'll use our 11/32 socket and a 3/32 Allen wrench. Let me go ahead and just start all these guys. Sweet. Now I gotta decide where to put it. Maybe we'll put it like right in the middle. Time for spill plates. So we're ready to put our spill plates on finally. So this is the last step of our process. These are literally just 3 bolts and nuts. Same hardware as the wing deck uses. And then you can also see that in the actual wing deck, the holes for the spill plates are slotted. So you do get some adjustment fore and aft. And that's essentially just so you can fit it how you like to the fender or to the bedside. So yeah, we'll go ahead and get these bolted on and kind of adjust them out and see what it looks like in one piece. All right, that's it, folks. So there it is, all finished up. We got everything adjusted properly, and our wicker bill's set at 1/4 inch, which is halfway, and this thing should be ready for the races. So can't wait to see your guys bolted onto your trucks too.